We'll give you the Thomas Massey treatment. We'll give you who are the progressive congressmen that lost their primaries in 2024 in Massachusetts and Missouri, in New York. We'll give you their treatment. They get TikTok banned. This is where you start. People ask rhetorical questions. They say, what, you think 2% of the population controls America? How does that happen? I'll tell you how. Jonathan Greenblatt at the ADL will rally the advertisers. He'll take out a front page ad in the LA Times, a full page front page ad on the LA Times, and use the bully pulpit against the biggest publicly traded companies in America, saying, if you support Facebook or Twitter, you're anti-Semitic, and we will call you out as anti-Semitic, and we will scare your shareholders into compliance. And doing this, they choke the revenue of the social platforms. And that is how these gangster-like organizations are running something like a protection racket. Jonathan Greenblatt is running a protection racket. They're all afraid of him. The social platforms need to be in the good graces of the advertisers. The advertisers need to be in the good graces of the shareholders. And the shareholders don't like when the media, which is influenced by Greenblatt, which is owned by people like Sumner Redstone or Sherry Redstone, the media, which is owned by people sympathetic to Israel, in many cases are the shareholders and the asset managers like BlackRock, run by Larry Fink. They don't like when the ADL is calling these companies anti-Semitic. That means the companies can't be giving ad revenue to social platforms that don't do the ADL's bidding. So the social platforms have to do the ADL's bidding. How do they get the American public on board? Well, the American public has been propagandized for years with Schindler's List created by a director, by all this atrocity propaganda, so that when the ADL calls someone anti-Semitic, the public's listening. They've been programmed to accept it. This is the mode. This is the mechanism of how this works. And when a platform like TikTok defies or maybe is outside of that matrix of control, what do Jewish advocacy groups do? Groups like the North American Jewish Federation, the Republican Jewish Coalition, the American Jewish Committee, the envoy for anti-Semitism in the White House. They create data. They have nonprofits that are funded to the tune of millions by Jewish billionaires that are friends with Israel. And these nonprofits have centers on extremism and hate speech. And they create a cadre of hate speech experts and extremism experts. They generate data and reports, and they fudge the data, but they make data and reports, and they use AIPAC and J Street and the RJC and these advocacy groups to bring these reports in front of Republican congressmen and Democratic congressmen. And they say TikTok is anti-Semitic. We need you to take a look at our data showing this. And if you don't support this bill that we wrote, we're going to call you anti-Semitic. We'll give you the Thomas Massey treatment. We'll give you who are the progressive congressmen that lost their primaries in 2024 in Massachusetts and Missouri, in New York. We'll give you their treatment. They get TikTok banned. This is where you start.
Well, Fuentes is now coming out to expose a lot of the things that we can all see ongoing in America. And not just in America, it is happening all over the world. A few of us control a lot of us. Just a handful of individuals control almost every single thing. And that is really not good. They have made it in such a way that we are all in camps. It is either we are in this camp or we are in that camp. And both camps are being controlled by them. The billionaires control both camps. They fund both camps. I said this before, and I will say it again. In America, you see people fighting each other in the name of the left versus the right, or conservatives versus liberals. But is that really the case? Is that really the case? Because remember, as you guys are down there fighting each other, doing all the cultural war things, the billionaires and the special interest group are reaping all the reward. They like to see us divided. They like to see us fight against ourselves. They like to see us not agreeing with each other. That is the best thing they like. When we are divided, when we are busy fighting ourselves, they have all the time in the world to do whatever they want to do. They have all the time in the world to do whatever they want to do. Ask yourself, as we have been fighting each other across religious lines or political lines, as our group, have our lives improved? No, it has not. It has not. Because as we have been busy fighting, the billionaires have been busy hoarding so much wealth for themselves. As we have been busy uh, uh, um, thinking about what to say and what not to say, the billionaires are busy in capturing all means of production. We think that these days we are a lot more free to talk. That may be true, but what do we have as our own? Haven't we realized that the wealth gap has just gotten wider and wider and wider? We have taken upon ourselves a lot of the things in the world, like social war, LGBTQ, anti-LGBTQ, pro-life, pro-choice. All these things that really don't benefit us as a group. We are fighting from one end against people at the other end. We're not gaining anything. We are not gaining anything. And I hope that people wake up and realize this. The enemies are not our neighbors. The enemies are those holding everything. The enemies are those holding the means of production hostage. Those people are the enemies. Those are the people we all must fight. They have their media houses, and when you say what they don't want you to say, they start calling you names. And sometimes, what I have realized is that the media companies play us for a fool. I mean, social media like Facebook and YouTube. Today, they will censor every single thing you say about something, and then tomorrow they turn around and uncensor it and then say it was a mistake. You think that was done because they wanna favor us, or they have realized the errors of their past, but it's a lie. The reason they are changing is because they are following the trend. Yesterday, the trend was on censoring the thing, and today the trend is on censoring the thing. So they are never for us or against us. They are just for themselves, and they are just doing what will put more money into their pocket. That's what they are doing. So to you guys out there, wake up and realize that you are being taken for a fool when you are being told to be in this camp or that camp. You are being taken for a fool.